Am I live? Oh my God, you guys, it's been years. I think it has been. First of all, I remember that when I went live before, I would always say, please say in the chat if you can hear me. I want to hear just the word yes. Like, just need to know if you guys can hear me. My mic's working. It's been years since I've been live. I used to live stream all the time, and I don't really know why I stopped, and it's crazy that I'm kind of nervous, but how is everyone? What's going on? I just wanted to hang out. It's just been too long. And I was like, you know what? I need to just be live with them again. It's been so fucking long. Yeah, everyone can hear me, but slightly low. Okay, let me speak the fuck up. So since it's been so many years, let's remind everyone of the program. I'm going to respond to, first of all, chats of all kind, but I'm prioritizing super chats, obviously. So if you have anything you want to ask me, say, or if you just want me to follow you, put your Instagram, Twitter, whatever handle in the super chat, and I'll literally follow you live. I have my phone ready to do that. So how is everyone? We have a lot to talk about. So there's a few things people want me to talk about in the news, the Nikita Dragun shit. People want me to talk about the Dylan Mulvaney shit. It's just a lot. This is so fun being live with you guys. Holy shit. The thing about me is like, I'll stop doing something and then like it becomes like an anxious thing. Like, I don't know, I haven't been live in so long, whatever. And then I finally do it and I'm like, why did I ever fucking stop? But anyways, there are already a few super chats. So I'm going to respond to those and let's get this fucking ball rolling. I'm going to be here for like an hour or two. Depends how long, like it's going to be a whole thing. Okay. So Bryn Harley says, hey, Blair, you're a very important person to me. Your impact is real. Thank you. Have you ever thought about starting a book club? All the best. I have thought about starting a book club. But if I do it, I'm going to do it in like a real way. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to actually suggest books to read. It's not going to be like getting paid and endorsements because a lot of these YouTubers and influencers and celebrities and whatever that do book clubs, it's like they're paid to promote those books to their people. So I wouldn't do that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Amy Potter. By the way, these first few super chats do not have their social media handles in the super chat, which means I will not be following them because I don't have their handles. So if you send one, just make sure you put your handle in. If you actually want me to follow you. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Let me not assume. Emmy Potter says, hi, Blair. Love you so much. Stay awesome, girlfriend. Thanks, Emmy. You're so sweet. Tia Talk says, are you and Joey still together? Y'all know that I've taken a step back from talking about my personal life on here. And I've just found it good practice to not talk about relationships on the internet. But Joey is my person and everyone's good. So just know that. Let's see. You know what I mean? Because things just get messy. You know what I mean? And like, it's been no secret that I've had ups and downs in my relationship with Joey, and we've gone through some things and we've whatever, but Joey is my person. That's all I'm going to say. BH says, hope you are well. Glad to see you live again. I usually can't watch because of work. Love you. Love you too. I'm glad I'm live as well. It's been stupid that I've been gone so long. Let's see. Eornis Little Loves with no message. Devin the Doll, who says, do you like pretzels? I fucking love pretzels. So before I get to more, my DMs are just blown the fuck up about the Nikita Dragun stuff. If you don't know about that. So Nikita is a trans influencer and she was arrested a couple days ago. Ooh, it's so ugly to even talk about. I feel, anyways. And she was allegedly placed in a men's prison, right? And there's conflicting reports because her camp put out a report that she was in a men's prison. There's video of her talking to the judge in which she asked if she can leave the men's prison, or not prison, that's a big word, right? She was arrested for being nude and throwing water on cops at a public pool, which is very, very bad behavior, inexcusable, can't do that. But considering Nikita is a trans woman and actually looks like a woman and has the body of a woman now, it's like her being in men's prison was crazy, right? This is why I always support LGBT wards, but everyone's asking me to do like a dedicated video about Nikita. I will not be doing that for the simple fact that I actually friends might be a strong word about Nikita. We are acquaintances and we speak regularly. And I feel really bad for her because, in my opinion, and I don't think I'm saying too much here because she's been very open about this, she's going through a lot of mental health issues. Obviously, like walking around nude at night by a pool and then throwing water on cops is not the behavior of someone who's all there, right? Like if you're throwing water on cops and you're nude in public, like these are kind of instinctually things people know not to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you have to, fuck up and do it and then learn from it and like, oh yeah, I learned that you shouldn't throw water on cops. I learned that you shouldn't be naked on a pool. Like the fact that it's instinctual not to do those things and she did them, I think it speaks for itself. She's going through a lot. And she's been open about mental health stuff. So I'm not going to do a dedicated video. I'm just going to say that I hope nothing too bad happened to her while in jail. Not excusing her behavior, obviously. But yeah, my opinion on prison for trans people, like I've always said, is an LGBT ward. I think that there are no downsides, only upsides. Because the reality is like someone like Nikita is not going to be okay at a men's jail. But a lot of people that claim trans, that's where they need to be, right? So it's like this really fucked up gray area. And I feel bad for Nikita because she's going through a lot mentally. Let me refresh this. Samantha Furland with no message, but shout out to you. Legata Modi says, my daughter identifies as male now, and I wish to be supportive, even though I'm conservative. I worry about the grifters online trying to push hormones on kids, and I want to talk seriously with her without offending. That's really tough. So my email inbox DM, like if full of parents wanting to know how to talk to their kids about this because some of these kids have been, sort of captured by the ideology, have been convinced by their peer groups that they're trans, and these parents are freaking out, right? And then there's parents who, their kid might even be trans. Like the reality is when you're trans, you show signs at a young age, but those signs are often obviously the same as like being gay or being lesbian. So it's difficult. And when an entire friend group is transitioning, red fucking flag. So my advice to you, Legato, is have a conversation with her where you are not coming across as aggressive. That's the biggest thing. Because when you're a kid, and we all remember being a kid, and we all know, apply whatever phase you were in as a kid. Like I had an emo phase, right? I remember, and this is different, obviously, but I remember having conversations with my parents in which they would get a little bit aggressive with me over the way I was dressing because I was dressing like a fucking little emo kid. And, I was getting into altercations at school because I was dressing weird and they didn't like that. So they were, upset that I was getting bullied, but in a way it translated to me as like my parents didn't accept me and it was very hard. So regardless of the conversation you have, do not be aggressive. Let your kid know that just because they're feeling this way now does not mean it's permanent. Maybe show them videos of detransitioners. I think that a lot of the times from what I'm seeing is people who watch these videos of detransitioners, they often find parallels like down to the needle with these stories and it makes them consider, not transitioning. So just don't let your child see you as the enemy. And I think you'll be fine, but good luck to you because this is not an easy situation. And I feel bad for you but you'll get through it. I promise. Pika Blue says, your skin looks like glass. What's your routine? It's crazy. I don't really have a skincare routine. In fact, I treat my skin kind of like shit. The only thing that I do that is very important to me is I don't sleep in my makeup most of the time. I also only really do moisturizer and I exfoliate sometimes just using like cheap stuff from Target. I don't do a lot for my skin. I kind of hacked myself with the skin stuff because for whatever reason, estradiol, which obviously I take because I'm trans, really did wonders for my skin because I had horrible cystic acne growing up. Like literally when I tell you the fact that I don't have massive scars on my face is a godsend because my acne growing up was so bad. I wouldn't leave the house for weeks. It was like huge, like cystic, like it was so bad. But the minute I took estrogen, it like went away. But that's just my fucking story. Hauntus Farmer says 100% support you, but DeSantis, he'd detrans every adult if he could. Handle is this. I would believe that if he was enacting legislation to affect trans adults, but from what I've seen, it's just trans kids, which I agree with. So it is what it is. But let me follow you. See, if you remember to put your handle in the super chats, y'all, I do follow you. Hauntus Farmer. Now I'm remembering what these live streams were like. It's like rapidly typing in people's handles and follow. And the thing about saying that DeSantis would detrans every trans adult, it's like, are we going to say that about every Republican presidential candidate? Because I was hearing the whole time that Trump was going to put me in a camp. Never happened. Still waiting for it. Like, it is what it is. Tiger Text Mitchie says, thank you for being an inspiration for other trans people. Oh, thank you, Tiger. That's sweet. People like to pose me as like an enemy of trans people, but it's so funny how like my real life experience is so different than online. Like, I would say a few times a week I get trans people coming up to me in real life where things are like normal saying that. And then you go online and it's like Blair's the fucking enemy of trans people. But thanks, Tiger. So our vendor, some of y'all in these names, like, I feel like I'm butchering every name, but is that really my fault or is it yours? I don't know. Our vendor says, don't leave it so long to go live next time. You know what? I promise I won't. It is unacceptably long in between these lives because it's fun just to get to interact with you guys like in real time and like see what you guys are fucking saying. And it's different than every other form of interacting with you guys. Isish Samson. What is with these names? I'm sorry if that's your real name. Y'all are crazy. With no message, but thank you all the same. Love you. Emily Kramer says, love you, Blair, and gave me their handle. So because Emily remembered to put her socials in the super chat, I'm following her. Emily Exception. Let's see. You better come up, girl. And followed. Jess with no message, but love you all the same. Wait, is that a message or it's an image? It says you are amazing. See, it's been so long since I've gone live. I didn't know you can send people images in the super chat. That's sickening. Thank you. Love you. Jamie says, what has been the best and worst thing about moving to a new state? Good question. Best thing is I'm obviously more in favor of the way things are ran in Texas, which is why I left a blue state to a red state. It was very comforting moving here in the midst of COVID and not having to worry about lockdowns because to my knowledge, Austin only locks down for, and correct me in the chat if you live here and I'm wrong, but I think they only locked down for like a month or two at the very beginning and then it was a wrap. Whereas, California reopened last week. So it was nice to escape that. So that was the best thing. And you know what? The people are the best thing as well. Like people are just friendlier out here. The people are awesome. And it's more of like my vibe. It's like, I've been very lucky to, upon moving here, I was worried that it was like going to hurt my career moving here because I was like stuck in this like stupid mindset of like YouTuber, LA, that's where it happens. And it's like, I move here and within like 2 months I'm on Joe Rogan because his studio's here and I'm doing this and that. It's like, it was a great decision. But the worst thing, probably the weather. I mean, the weather kind of fucking sucks. Like during the winter, you get like trapped in your house sometimes. But it is what it is. I wouldn't trade it. I love it here. Who's texting me? Oh, it's all the people I'm following. Hey guys. Let's see. September Fire says you are so beautiful. Thanks, September. Mashisu, I remember you. You were in every fucking live chat, sis. You were in every live chat that I ever did over the years. So it's so good to still see you. You know what's so cool about, if I just can go off for a second about you guys, what's so cool is how many of you have been here since the very beginning. I did a post on my Instagram, which follow me on Instagram if you're not, but I did a post on Instagram recently where I showed like a picture from like the beginning of my channel and then now, obviously. And I was like, how long have you guys been following me? And there was an insane amount of people who commented saying, there's like 1,500 comments on that post. People saying since 2016, since 2017. Absolutely amazing. Put in the chat what year you guys started following me. I just want to know. Not that I have anything against the newcomers, because we love you. We love you so much, and thank you. But I think it's cool that there are people from the very beginning still, you know, because not a lot of YouTubers have that. A lot of YouTubers, it's like, it's like about what they're giving people right now, right? And all their followers are from last year. Whereas mine, we're family and we've been together for a long time. Let's see. Mrs. Gavin Smith says, Blair, you are great, and gave me her handle. Thank you so much, Mrs. Gavin Smith. You're going to get followed right now. Be on the lookout. Any second. Oh my God, I deleted. Hold on. Sorry, Mrs. Gavin Smith. And followed. Thank you, Eornis Little Loves, with no message, but love you all the same. Let me refresh for a second and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, everyone who wants me to do a video on Nikita, it's like, I guess it is my bias, but I just know personally and based on my conversations with her that she is going through it mentally. And the last thing I think she needs, even though I'm sure she knows I would never like drag her, is to see on her feed like a Blair White video with her in the thumbnail. Like, that's just not, I like her as a person. I don't care what anyone says about that. And I'm not doing that to her. And I don't want to exploit what she's going through right now either. Not that I agree with her behavior, because that's a given. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? But I don't know. Jade Taft says, are there any plans to have another Blair and Buck interview? Have you gotten any plans coming up in the pipeline? There's always plans to do more stuff with Buck. I love Buck Angel. If you guys are not following Buck Angel, I don't know what you're doing. Buck is the sweetest, kindest soul. And I vibe with him in a way that I have not really vibed with like many other people in my entire life. Obviously, we have like the connection of being trans people who are sort of like outcasts or black sheep in the community. And it's weird because he's like the opposite of me, like trans man, trans woman. But when we get together, we're just, the second I see him, it's like a conversation with like no silences. It's just like us running our mouths, can barely even get a word in on each other. I went to dinner with Buck in LA. It was me, Buck, Michael Malice, Bridget Fetisi, her husband, Buck's wife. And I felt bad because I felt like I didn't get to talk to anyone else at dinner because it was all about me and Buck talking. But it was a moment. So always plans to do more stuff with Buck. I plan on keeping him in the rotation of content on my channel and on my podcast. And do you guys like the podcast, by the way? I put it in the chat because I have so much fun with the podcast. I feel like it shows like a different side of me. Peyton Yargis with no message, but love you all the same. Peyton, thank you very much. Ari, I love the name Ari, by the way. You know what? I feel like there are like a few other names other than Blair that could have fit me, and Ari's like one of them. I feel like it could have been an Ari. You want to know something cringe? This is so cringe. Okay, I'm going to say it. So I came to the name Blair very early on in my transition, obviously. A few weeks before coming on YouTube, by the way, which thank God I got my name down before I came on YouTube. But the first name I was going to choose, y'all are going to gag. It was Robin. I'm sorry to anyone named Robin who's offended in the chat, but that doesn't fit me. I know it fits a lot of y'all beautifully, but it was not going to fit me. And the fact that I almost did it. Thank God. I was meant to be Blair. Like, literally. But Ari gave me her handle, so I'm going to follow Ari. Let's see. Photo _ I'm feeling so old, y'all. The last time I did this with you guys, I was how old? 27? Maybe 26, if I'm doing the math correctly. It's like, I'm 29. I just turned 29. I'm 1 year away from 30. Do we understand what 30 is in training years? Because we're going on like 75. But I just felt so old lately. But I like it. Like, I like aging. I like coming more into my own. I feel like I'm. Anyways. Thank you, Ari. Tita for EWAS says, excuse me, will you come to Hawaii for any events? I would help. Aloha from Hawaii. We love you. Let's pod one day. And they gave me their handle. Here's the thing about Hawaii. I wanted to go to Hawaii for my birthday in 2020. And of course, the world shut down just in time for me to do that. And so ever since then, I've been wanting to go back to Hawaii. So I think I will soon. I think it'd be cool to go in the winter, right? What's the weather like in Hawaii in the winter? I think it'd be cool. The viewer's voice. Hey, boo. You and I have followed each other for a while. I love you. Says, this Texas weather, 45 tomorrow? No, ma'am. Yeah, for real. Bitch. I'm really not feeling it because y'all know that I don't really wear a lot of clothes. Like most of my outfits, my arms are showing, cleavage, shorts, whatever. And so I don't get to dress like that a lot here, but it's fine. I need to grow up anyways. I'm in Texas now. I'm not in Hollywood thoughting and bopping. I need to dress like an adult. And it is what it is. Tristan James says, love you, and gave me their handle. Hey, Tristan, love you too. This is fun, you guys. I'm glad I did this because low key, I miss talking to you guys. Tristan, you don't even follow me. That was the thing I remember about this. I'd be like following y'all. You don't even follow me. I'm following you, but follow me back. Raisin, you dongers. What? Says, so happy I managed to catch this, and a major plus is I'm off tomorrow. Loved your content for ages and glad to support. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here too. The only live experiences I ever even get other than this for the past few years is like being on Timcast. And you know what? I get like anxiety going on Timcast a little bit, if I'm honest. It's just such an intense show. Followed you. I loved him and I loved the whole operation over there, but fuck. It's like very long and, the audience can be a little intense, but it's fun. Hibiscus says, what do you think of scholarships for BIPOC LGBTQ? I think BIPOC means, I think the POC means people of color, but what is the BI? I don't know, but I'm just going to assume this means minorities. I'm 17 and a white lesbian, and I think it's not fair for straight or white people. What's your take? Love you. My take is that perhaps these things were more necessary in the past. We're coming to a time when they're not necessary. And this is really the thing about really a lot of issues when it comes to the LGBT community in particular, right? I'm not that versed on racial issues, but when it comes to LGBT shit, this is kind of the problem with a lot of the things. And we talk about on this channel a lot is that a lot of these things that are in place now were absolutely necessary in the past and aren't now and are now providing excesses that only piss people off. So, I don't know. I feel like I'd feel weird if I were to get a scholarship on being trans. Like, what the fuck should I do to earn that? Like, what? Especially because it's like, what do you have to do to prove you're trans to get the scholarship? Because as far as I can see, you can just say that shit and you get it now. I mean, shout out to that, but I'm gonna put my blanket on. It's fucking cold in here. Sorry I'm swearing so much. I swear in my videos, obviously, a lot, but I bleep it. So y'all are getting the real deal how often I swear, which is unfortunate. I'm gonna work on that. Peter Vickery has no message, but I love Peter Vickery all the same. Let's see. Verouier. There's no way I'm getting these names right. I'm sorry, bitch. I need to stop swearing. Says, hey, love you. Love you too. I called you a bitch out of endearment. Sorry. Gonna follow you right now. Verouier. And Verouier, you're not following me either. What is up with this? I could be mean, and these people who aren't following me and ask me to follow them, I don't have to follow them, but I'm going to because I'm being nice. So you should be nice and follow me back. Wear the Good Socks says, hey, Blair, love you. Were you always naturally articulate and good at debating, or did you develop the skill with training? Any tips, tools, favorite books on how to hone that skill? I don't think I'm that great at debating. I really fuck with the fact that you think so, and I take it as a compliment, but for me, you guys know I'm just very passionate. And so when I'm in these debate scenarios, I pretty much just wing it. And I think the thing that's like honed my skills in that regard is knowing I'm always not favored in these scenarios, right? So think back to like the Vice HBO debate I did, the Are You Okay, Jamie video, where I'm debating on the LGBT left versus right panel. I always go into these things knowing that it's going to be like one, maybe two right leaning person, and then all of them are going to be progressives, right? So I kind of go into it like ready for war. Like, I know I'm outnumbered, so I'm just going to go extra hard. And that comes across as me being mean, but it's like, maybe if this wasn't stacked completely against my favor, I wouldn't have to be so aggressive. I don't know. But as far as being articulate, I don't know. I've always enjoyed writing, reading. Like as a kid, I would write like entire novels. And that was actually a skill I honed from being bullied. Like I would be in the teacher's class during recess when all the kids are outside playing. I had no friends. So I'd be like writing these like fantastical novels. And maybe that's it. I don't know. I think I'm not good at debating, but thank you for thinking so. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm good at it or no? I think I just kind of wing it. Thank you, Yashi Naga. You know what? Maybe I am good at it based on the fact that no one ever wants to debate me. Because like literally once a month I try to get some kind of debate going on my channel. And like there was a time when people would say yes, and then now they don't. I don't know. Maybe they go to my channel and they see like the Jessica Eve shit, the Onision shit, the whatever shit, and they're like, I don't want to do this. No one wants to. Yashi Naka says you do good work and you're so brave. Thank you, Yashi. Let me follow you, Yashi. Your name sounds pleasing. Yashi. Let's see if Yashi's following me because half of y'all are not even following me. Yashi, you're not following. You have 0 followers too. I'm going to follow you, but follow me. Let's see. Letitia says, let's be friends. It's the DID, bitch. DID? Are you talking about dissociative identity disorder? Because I don't have that. I'll still be your friend if you have it, but I don't have that. We can be friends, Letitia. Xandra says, I'm detransitioned. My parents simply never treated me any different. They just never played along with the gender thing. They knew it wasn't right for me. After 10 years, I detransitioned. Holy shit. 10 years. That is like a lot. You know what's so interesting is like, there's just no way to know, right? And that's like the most fucked up part about it. Is like half the time I feel like I'm having these conversations about like detransitioners, trans kids, and it's like there is no foolproof way to know that this decision is going to be right for you. And that's why I draw a hard line at minors, because not even adults are going to know. So until we're able to like figure that out, whether it's brain scans, whether it's whatever, it's like, shout out to you. I'm sure that could not be like an easy thing. There's no way that's not trauma. Like it has trauma written all over it. But God bless you and your family. You know, I hope for the best for you. Slater says, would you do a podcast with Aisha Erotica? She was a singer in 2014 through 2018. She's canceled and trans. It would be interesting to see. You know what's so funny is I get comments all the time that I look like Aisha Erotica. And I've seen some pictures and like I kind of do. So yeah, maybe. I think that'd be cool. Canceled and trans. Huh. Kind of like me. Shout out to Aisha. If y'all know her handles, tell her that I'm down to talk. Samantha Furlan says, whatever happened with Eli Ehrlich? As predicted, Eli got away with everything, at least for now, because that's what happens. You know, these people never have any fucking consequences. I don't know what's up with that. I know that I did my part encouraging people to report the illegal activity. We'll see if anything happens. Dr. Rollergator says, free Dr. Rollergator. Are you banned? You're saying free. Let me follow you. You're on Twitter? Oh, yeah. And also, if you guys want me to follow you, also include in the super chat, like if it's Twitter or Instagram, so I don't have to like look at both and I can just see. Dr. Alligator, you're not following me. Follow me back. What is up with y'all? Talking about pay me. Girl, bye. Van says, what was the response to your furry video? I'm a furry and followed your content for years, but worry about sharing my beliefs in our community. Here's the thing. My furry video, if you guys did not know, was taken down for weeks because someone in the furry community decided to give me a false copyright strike and claim that one of the pieces of content was theirs, for which, even if it was theirs, I would still have every right to react to it because it was public TikToks I was reacting to. And they were able to hold my video hostage and have YouTube take it down for 2 weeks. So they abused the system, which is illegal, and I can absolutely sue the fuck out of them. So we'll see if I do, because I definitely have proof of damages. I definitely have proof of revenue lost. Yeah, so the furries got upset. I would be afraid for you to share your beliefs with the furry community. I assume you mean you have different beliefs politically than them. I advise you not to, because they come hard. Sounds really not good. Emmy Potter says, I love you so much. My mom says you're stunning. Thanks, Emmy. Shout out to your mom. Let me follow you. Mary. Wait, your name's Emmy here and Mary there. So let's see. Ba-ba-ba. I feel bad. Some people are thinking there's like some kind of drama going on based on the title. I just meant we need to talk as in we haven't talked in a while. Sorry. All right, let me refresh this. This is so fun hanging out with you guys. It's been way too long. This is a Powerpuff Girls blanket, by the way. I don't know if you can see. Let me see. See, there's Blossom. Let's see. Samantha Winship says, you helped me a lot when I was questioning transition. Thank you so much. Here's my handle. Thank you, Samantha. Whatever your conclusion was, I hope that it was absolutely right for you and that you're happy, successful, thriving, and doing your fucking thing, you know? That's the thing about it. Just do your thing. Whatever your thing is. And followed. Apple actually followed me before asking me to follow her back. Isn't that amazing? Verrier sent another one saying, sorry for not following. I follow you on Twitter, though. Don't take it. It's fine. Shout out to you, Verrier. I appreciate you. Let's see. Jasmine with no message, but love you all the same. Sunfire Fire says, would you do a collab with Cat Black? Love your channel. Thank you for telling trans people to have accountability. Would I do a collab with Cat Black? Sure. I know Cat hates me with the burning passion of 10,000 suns. I know that she has made it a point to talk a lot of shit. But I'd be down because I don't hate her. And you know what's so crazy about Cat Black? She's a trans YouTuber, for those of you who don't know who she is. We were born on the same day and same year, September 14th, 1993. We're both trans. Her last name's Black. My last name's White. Simulation. It is a fucking simulation. How is that real? My trans YouTuber rival has the last name Black. I'm white. She is Black. I am white. Partially. Go watch my DNA reveal video on my podcast channel. Can y'all believe I'm part Black? That's so crazy. I really never thought that I was part Black. And no, I'm not kidding. People are going to think I'm kidding, but watch my DNA reveal. I'm white, Black, Mexican. It was like 70% white, a big chunk Mexican, and then a little bit Black. It was crazy. A little bit of Ashkenazi Jewish. It was just a lot. Anyways, yes, I would do a collab with Cat Black if she so wanted to. I think it'd be cool to talk about our differences. I don't have hate for her. Maybe she doesn't for me anymore. It's been a couple years, but we'll see. Maybe. Gareth Green says, continued, I'm kind of upset. Wait, I think I should find Gareth's first super chat because they seem to be telling me a story. Okay, I found the first one, and then I'm going to scroll back up. Gareth Green says, my oldest friend recently cut off recently because he was gay and never told me for 10 years, even though he knew I have same-sex attractions to myself. I'm not LGBTQ affirming enough. We both came from conservative Christian backgrounds. Continued. I'm kind of upset because I'd have wanted to date this friend if I had known it was possible. Unfortunately, it turns out he is now a gender-affirming pediatrician. I have no doubt his motives are the best possible. That sucks. You know, I know 2 people who were, like, besties, and one of them had, like, romantic feelings for the other one, and then finally came clean about it, and then the friendship was ruined, they don't talk anymore. I think that's bad. I don't think you should if you have romantic feelings for your friend, you should tell them, like, very, very soon, like, right when you start feeling them, because it's, like, asking for disaster. But if they're a gender-affirming pediatrician, it's a good thing you didn't date them because that's a monster. Celeste Noel says, "Love you so much. I'm Cosmic Kitten with an X in the front and back." Well, let me find you, Cosmic Kitten. And love you too. Cosmic Kitten, you don't follow me. I just followed you. You should follow me back. Let's see. Tanya S says, "I thought you were married." No, I'm not married. Let's see. Tara Bell says, "Love you, sweet pea." Love you, sweet pear, sweet orange, sweet olive. Let me follow you. You know what I also remember about doing these live streams is that the ring light being on me for this long is melting my fucking brain. Dan Caputi with no message. Chris with no message, but love them both all the same. Let's see. BGS03 says, "Being a conservative, I was the furthest away from possible from the topics you cover, but you made me understand it a lot better. Keep going." Thank you. You know what's so crazy about that? And I'm actually posting a main channel video tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I'll just tell you guys what the video is about because y'all are the MVPs for being in the live early. So y'all know that on Joe Rogan, I told Joe that I felt like I was different at 5, that I felt gender dysphoria at 5 years old. So for the past year, in waves, people and my detractors have been posting this clip as if it's some sort of like gotcha or own that like I'm some sort of hypocrite because I felt like I was different at 5. Therefore, why am I against children transitioning? Which is pretty fucking stupid because I transitioned as an adult. That's the whole point. It's like just because I felt different at 5 doesn't mean I could have consented to sterilization, lifelong medicalization, not being able to have kids of my own. Like, it's just not that difficult of a concept. But anyways, I'm responding to all the people and the lefties who were saying all this shit about me. And in it, there's this person who attacks me about how I could be doing such a better job educating conservatives about trans issues. And it's like, do you not understand my entire role on social media? It's like all I get are conservatives telling me, "Thank you for helping me understand." Like, anyways, thank you, BGS03, for saying that. I keep going off on these like ADHD tangents, but whatever. John Forge. Hey, John, I recognize you. You're always so supportive on Twitter and Instagram. Like, you're always there. Shout out to you. Who says your podcast is amazing? Thanks, John. Are you from New Zealand? I didn't know that. It says New Zealand. Shout out to you. Jennifer says, "Sending love from the UK. Any plans to come to the UK in the future?" You know what's so crazy is I just got my passport. How crazy it is, you guys, that I've never been out the country. I'm 29 years old. I've never left the country. So it is on the agenda. Oh, Lord. Now that I'm like telling people I'm following them, it's like my mentions are going ham right now. Let me repost this. People are posting stories. Oh, I love you guys so much. I really have such an intimate relationship with like my audience. I can't. CB says, "You are always great on Timcast. Just as always, love your colorful pews." Thank you. "My friends and I think you're one of the best bridges for the trans community due to your honesty and integrity." Thank you. That's very kind. What do you guys think of the gun collection video? I love it. It's one of my favorite videos I've posted because it's so like demented. Let me follow you back, Chris. And followed. Yeah, that video is demented, huh? Petunia Fish, or One-ish, gave me their handle, so I'm going to follow Petunia. Let's see. Cass and Petunia 1. Followed. Let's see. Karina says, "A voice of reason and a vision of beauty, based AF." Thanks, Karina. I had a best friend named Karina growing up. And shout out to her. She really switched up when I started being open about my opinions and stuff on the internet. But we used to have a good relationship. See how triggered I am by the name Karina? Damn. She really like just could not fuck with me anymore after I was just honest about who I was and what I believed. Shame. What is your favorite animal? My favorite animal, dolphins. So I swam with dolphins in Miami for my birthday a couple months ago, and bitch, it was like a spiritual experience. It was one of the coolest experiences. I totally understand why people become dolphin people. It's like you look into the eyes of a dolphin when they're in person and you just see that they're not like other animals. There's totally a reason why they're the most intelligent animal. It's like they straight up have souls. Period. I don't think all animals have souls. Does a grasshopper have a soul? I don't fucking know. Dolphins have souls. And shout out to them. Adam Choate says, what percent of haters hate because of your politics? And what percent of haters hate because of jealousy that you can pass? LOL. Just joined if this was asked already. It was not asked already. I think the sort of like extreme level of hatred for me is like, it's twofold, right? Obviously the politics are a big thing. It's like the fact that I'm not on script and I don't say what every other fucking trans influencer says, like nothing makes them more angry. And I said this in the video that I'm posting tomorrow. It's like they can take it from Matt Walsh. They can take it from Ben Shapiro. They can take it from Miss Candace Owens. But when it's a trans person saying certain things, nothing makes them more fucking angry. So it's the fact that I'm trans and have the politics that I have. And what else? Haters because of jealousy that you can pass. I don't fucking know. You know what's so crazy is like there is this narrative of Blair White that she's always talking about passing. I don't talk about passing. I don't talk about, it's like if I talk about it, it's talking about it objectively, like how my experience is that how I'm perceived in the world. Like there's this narrative that I'm like making videos and like judging who passes and who doesn't. I've never done that. In fact, if you look at my channel, it is very, very rare for me to do a video on an actual like trans woman or trans man. It is always people like Jessica and Eve, like the woodshop teacher with the huge prosthetic tits, like Ezra Miller. Like it's never, I don't know. People decide things about you when you're a public figure and they just think it forever and nothing can change it. But yeah, people hate me for a lot of reasons. Some of them are valid. I looked back at a lot of content I've done and, it's like I'm 29 and I've been on YouTube since 23? I might have been 22. Actually, I think 22. And, when I made my first video, I think I was like a month on hormones. Like I have straight up transitioned, grown up in front of like the internet. And so a lot of my content over the years, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, not that I like don't believe a lot of the things that I believe. There are some things I've changed my perspective on, and we can talk about the specifics if you guys want. But it's like just the way that I've like expressed some of it and like some of my antics and some of the videos. But at the same time, I wouldn't change anything because the difference between 22 and 29 is like monumental. Like you are not the same person between those two ages. And I challenge anyone to grow up in front of the internet and not make some mistakes, not do some cringy shit. Like that's just how it goes down, I'm getting another tangent. Sorry. Texas Horse Rescue says Texas is better with Blair. Your podcasts are fun and informative. We are on the bird, and they gave me their handle. Thank you. I believe Texas is better with me as well. You know what I mean? I feel like I've helped Texas or helped Austin kind of. I didn't put Austin on the map. Obviously, people like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk did that, but I think I've helped. You know what I mean? TXH Horse Rescue. What a cool thing that you're a horse rescue. That's really awesome. Shout out to horses. Let's see. Jewel Does Hair says, you helped me. Sorry. That coffee went down the wrong pipe. It is not a Blair White live or video without black coffee. Jewel Does Hair says, you've helped me awaken from leftism. Shout out to you, Jewel. I'm glad I could do that for you. Let me follow you, honey. Jewel Does Hair. I literally feel so bad that people think that something's like wrong based on the title of this. Nothing's wrong. I just needed to talk as in like I haven't talked to y'all for a while. I'm sorry. I think that's that natural like YouTuber instinct to like make a dramatic title. But I promise I wasn't trying to scare y'all. Awasa Dina says, "Hey Blair, you're so awesome. May I ask your opinion on Jamie Dodger? Because personally, he kind of angers me." I don't know who Jamie Dodger is, so I don't have an opinion. Brandy McKee, with no message, but love her all the same. Abry Anderson says, "You should interview a trans girl who's also Christian. That video would blow up. I'm Republican leaning, but I'm also trans. Jesus died for everyone." That's so crazy because like you don't hear about a lot of trans people that are religious. You straight up don't hear it. So that would be interesting. How about you message me on Instagram and we'll see what's going on. No promises, but we'll just see what's going on. Yeah, religion is just one of those things that I've never ever dabbled into, like ever. Misfit Brat says, "Girl, I love you. Living in Corning, California. I'm 37. Holy shit. Shout out to Corning, California, my hometown where I was born and raised. Actually, I was born in Chico, California, which is 30 minutes outside of Corning, but I lived in Corning my whole childhood and teenagehood. It is not the greatest town, but you know that, girl. But it made me who I am, so shout out to that. It's so funny. I have like this little story time. I had visited my family to go to a wedding last year it was my first time seeing them in years. And because it was my cousin's wedding, it's like, on my mom's side of the family, girl, that's the Mexican side. So they breed like crazy. They got all kinds of kids. Like I have a million cousins on that side, right? So it was kind of like nerve-wracking to some of them I hadn't seen since before I transitioned. So the last they saw of me, I was, my previous self. And then I came and, the internet stuff is one thing. It's like, so they all had to process like, okay, so our male cousin is now Blair. And also Blair is like on Joe Rogan and on YouTube and whatever. It's like, it was a lot for them, but they're all super cool. But one of the weirdest things was my first grade teacher, Mrs. Vincent, shout out to Mrs. Vincent, came up to me and like started low-key like fangirling. Like I was a fan of my channel and like stealing the attention away from my cousin who was the bride. And it was just so crazy to go home. It was like just a really weird experience because I have a lot of like trauma having to do with my hometown because I went through so much in that place. But it was cool to be able to go back and have like a positive experience, even though I did put the attention back on my cousin immediately, but it was just cool, Eric Ailman says, "Love your podcast. Loved you on Timcast. Would love to see you there again." I love going on Timcast. Like I said, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking. It's like a big show, a lot of live viewers. It's a long show. It's an intense show. But I always have fun doing it. So I'm sure I'll be back soon. I was just on there, what was that, like a couple weeks ago? And it was sickening. So let me follow you, Mr. E, 1776. Followed back. And one thing that I always really appreciate about Tim is that there's very few people from like that really early era of YouTubers that him and I kind of came up in. I'm talking like the Shoe One Heads, the Armored Skeptics, the Andy Worskis, y'all know how it used to be. And most of those people are gone. Most of those people are gone, have either turned to drugs, had mental breakdowns, completely switched up their politics because they were scared of the backlash. Like they're all gone with the exception of a few, right? And those few are like me, Shoe One Head, Tim, a few others. And so there's kind of this like respect that I would assume he feels as well. I mean, I feel it of like, good for you for sticking around this long. It's not the easiest thing. Like it's been a wild ride. So whenever I go do Timcast, it kind of feels like a very strange like family reunion of sorts. So it's cool. Because also I remember meeting Tim Pool at VidCon 2017, and he didn't have even a tiny fraction of the following he has now. So it's been so cool to see him like just blow the fuck up and have one of the biggest podcasts. And the fact that, I get to be on it sometimes is like amazing. Let's see. Worse says, "I love you, Blair. You are honestly one of the few logical people in the community. My handle is this." Thanks, girl. I think you're a girl. I'm sorry. I'm not misgender you. Lumen. Is that your handle? Let me see. Girl, one thing about it is like my fucking eyesight's going too. I'm not finding you. I think you might put a typo. I'm sorry. Let's see. Elijah says, love the podcast, especially the one with HRH. Shout out to HRH. She's so fun. And that podcast was really fun. It was fun just like putting on like the mean girl vibe and like talking shit. Love her. People hate on her, but she reaches out to an audience that boring conservatives have trouble reaching. Right. And, the thing about the right is, I don't care if you're on the right or left, you just have to agree with this. The right does not do and has historically not done a good job reaching out to younger people. That's why younger people always vote blue. And so people can hate on her, but it's like she's reaching like young people. Isn't that what we should be doing? Just saying. Harmony Meek. There's so many super chats. I feel like I'm gonna like miss a couple. I'm really trying hard not to. But if God forbid I miss you guys a super chat, I am going to, after this, go through and like make sure I got to all of them. And so if you have your handle in, I'll message and I'll follow all of them. Let's see. Nikki says, love you so much. You gave me the inspiration to stay conservative and voice my opinion, even as a trans girl with no shame of others. That's so sweet. Shout out to you, Nikki. Harmony Meek says, I love you. And do you talk to Shane Dawson? I do not talk to Shane Dawson. It's not because there is beef. It is not because, the thing with Shane, if I'm just being let me just be real. I hate when people come on here and don't be real. So y'all know, if you watched me for a couple years now and you were around for like the Dramageddon thing with Shane and Jeffree and all them, you guys know I did a video about Shane. I did a video about Jeffree. And the video about Shane, I had, I felt like I didn't attack him. I felt like I talked about how his humor was like really messed up, and the fact that he was including actual children in the humor was really messed up, but I did not think he was a pedo. And I felt like because of his own experience being violated, that his humor was like a way of coping. So I don't feel like I attacked him. However, from Shane's point of view, and I don't know, I have no way of knowing this, but I can assume that if Shane saw like a Blair White video about Shane Dawson during his cancellation, he probably assumed I was jumping on the bandwagon and trying to cancel him. And so we haven't spoken. It's my fault just as much as it is his. We haven't talked, but I don't know. I don't really know who Shane is anymore. It's been years since we've hung out or spoken, but I will always be thankful for what he did for me very early on with my career and my channel. The fact that I collabed with Shane Dawson, one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, when I had like 150K subscribers. And even before that, he put me on his podcast when I had like 50K subscribers. So I'll always be thankful for that. And I hope that he's doing well. And I heard that he's like having kids soon. And that's a beautiful thing. So shout out to him. That was a long way of saying we don't fucking talk. Little Miss Killer with no message, but love her all the same. Leah Smith says, been following you since 2016. Love your logical views on everything. I used to love showing your videos to people when I was in the army. You know what's so crazy is like I get a lot of messages from people in the military who say that like they watch my shit. Like it's like a thing while they're deployed. And I think that's so cool. So I'm glad I could give you entertainment while you were fighting for me. Shout out to you. Let me follow you, Leah. Oh, it's on the bird. Okay. Thank you guys. Now that I said that, please include if it's Twitter or Instagram. Y'all are starting to do that. It's making it easier. So I don't have to open both apps and type the whole thing in. Followed you, Emily. Let's see. Alexa the House Mom. Love your name, Alexa the House. Says, from one controversial queen to another, and gave me her handle. Shout out to you, fellow controversial queen. Did Penthouse call me that? Yeah, that was the title of my Penthouse article. I think it was like the Queen of Controversy or something. I like forget I did Penthouse. How fucking cool is that I was the first trans woman in Penthouse and like no one talks about it? Let's see. First trans woman on Joe Rogan, biggest podcast in the world. First trans woman in Penthouse. First trans woman in a rap video, Tom McDonald. And the trans activists just don't care. But it's fine. I get it. I'm the devil to them. But I think it's pretty fucking cool that I've been able to do those things. Sorry, let me follow you, Alexa. Alexa, the House Mom. Shout out to Tom McDonald. I still, to this day, get like an insane amount of messages about Snowflakes, which was a music video he put me in. That music video has like 20 million views. And the fact that, can we just like unpack that? The fact that a conservative rapper who makes conservative rap, like his lyrics are political and unabashedly right wing, has a trans woman in the video dancing. I'm on a fucking car dripping in Versace. Like, I'm rapping one of the parts for him. He is such an innovator and so fucking cool for that he just didn't give a shit who was going to have an issue with that, what conservatives are going to be mad. Like, I'm really not even trying to toot my own horn. I'm tuning Tom's, because how fucking cool is it on his part that he was like, yeah, I'll put a fucking trans woman in my video and I don't give a fuck. 20 million views. Sickening. And it was still to this day one of the coolest things I've done, because obviously I'm not the kind of person to be in a music video. It's a, I walked on set and I had no idea what I was doing. And I was getting instructions to hair flip and crawl on the car and do all this shit that I have never done before. And I did it. And I love it. Let's see. Logic Rex says, it's great to see you live. The chats and your content are always awesome, but this live chat is the highlight of my day. Keep up the great work, Moving Mountains. You know what, Logic? It's the highlight of my day too. Love you. Milano says, I'm a new follower. Found out about you from Joe Rogan's podcast last year. You're so smart and a critical thinker. Mad love. And here's my handle. Thank you. I still like think about the fact that I was on Joe Rogan, and it's like surreal to me. I don't care if it sounds corny to say that. I mean, I grew up watching Joe Rogan on Fear Factor. Obviously, Joe Rogan is a huge name, and being on the number one podcast in the world, it's like, that's fucking crazy. It was a surreal experience. And you know what? I don't even know what we talked about on there anymore. Like, I completely forget. I like blacked out. Let me follow you. Jason Who says, you taught me that not all LGBT people are crazy. Thanks. Also, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Oh, Jason, that's very sweet. Let's see. Chris Josh says, the whole Adam coming out about Tim Pool. Love you. Yeah, I think I saw Adam Krigler doing some kind of video talking about Timcast and why he left. I didn't watch it. Was there drama there? Or was it like, I assume if you're saying that there was drama, what was the drama? Can y'all put it in the chat? Not trying to be messy. I loved him. I don't know what happened. Laura Wolf says, hi, been following you since 2016, but first time donating. Just wanted to say I love you. And not only have you been an inspiration to me in my transition, but have also helped my mom in accepting it. Aw, thank you. That's really sweet. Y'all be getting me emotional with these. Oh my God. That's what I remember about these live chats as well. When we used to do them, is like, low-key, I would like cry sometimes because y'all were just so nice to me. Which is very different from like my standard main channel videos where I'm like being a fucking bitch. Let's see. BH says, I always like to listen to different people cover the news with their own take, and your podcast is awesome for it. I'm 29 in May, Blair. Don't feel bad. I'm freaking out a little about 32. It's funny. First of all, thanks for the compliment on the podcast. I'm actually not freaking out about 30. Like, I think 30 is a cooler age than 29. Like, 29 is kind of an ugly number. So I'm excited to be 30. I don't know what I want to do for my 30th birthday, but I'm excited to be 30, There's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like my life has only gotten better as I've aged. So it's not as if things are going downhill. Like, I'm feeling pretty great. So I'm happy about it. Let's see. There's so many of these, you guys. I promise I'm going to get to you. Tash says, hey, Blair, thanks for all you do. I have learned so much from you. I'm no longer just fighting for my girl's future, but for trans folks like you, so you don't lose your rights. Much love. Thanks, Tash. That's what people don't get about the content I make. And I don't articulate it a lot because I don't like getting caught up in defending myself, because whatever, but it's all family in the house tonight. So let's just fucking talk. The entire purpose of my channel is finding a way to support both women and trans people and children, and to make it work for everyone. Like, this narrative that like I have an anti-trans channel. It's like, first of all, how stupid are you? Why would I have an anti-trans channel as a trans person? In what world would I want a single right stripped away from me? I'm simply recognizing the ways in which things are not meshing with other groups of people and how it's causing resentment towards my group of people, and I'm trying to stop it. So my channel is just as much about trans rights as it is about women's rights and children's rights and whatever. It's like, but people just don't get that. And also I have to remember that a lot of the times people who say that I have an anti-trans channel are literally just going off of like what other people say and never watched a video. But it is what it is. All I can do is keep running my mouth, which I'm good at. I've been doing it for an hour here. Reed Wilburn sent a rainbow. It's cool you guys can send, pictures and stuff in the super chats now. BH says, love the podcast. Love you. Thank you. Oh my God, there's so many of these, you guys. Let's see. Draco Side says, thanks for what you've been doing. Before I saw your stuff years ago, I used to be quite a transphobe, but you started me down a road of acceptance. Now I even have a trans partner, so I've changed a lot. Holy shit. So you started as a transphobe, you discovered Blaire White's channel, and now you are dating a trans person. That's a rabbit hole. That's the slippery slope, folks. Oh my God. Well, shout out to you and your trans partner. And there you go. It's like, it is what it is. Let's see. I'm So Crazy says, I started following you since you were in the Tom McDonald video. Absolutely love you. Thank you. You know what's so crazy is like, for whatever reason, a lot of people, despite it having 20 million views and the most viewed piece of content I've ever been in, a lot of people like don't know I was in it. I don't understand. I guess it's just different algorithms, but it is what it is. Let me refresh because it's been a while since I refreshed and there's so many of these. And thank you guys, by the way. This has been so fun. Let's see. Chrissy Moss says, I grew up in Corning too. Seriously? This is crazy. I never used to get people saying they were from Corning, my hometown. This was like nuts. My daughter is in Chico now. I'm an author on both socials. Shout out to people where I'm from. I mean, that's so crazy. Chrissy Moss. And followed. Freya Lee says, wish you would have made it to the Trans Against Groomers space yesterday. Love you. All the love in the world. Shout out to Trans Against Groomers. Shout out to Gays Against Groomers. It's really cool to, in 2022, be proven wrong that I'm the only trans person who cares about this shit. Like, there was literally a time when I was the only trans person on YouTube talking about the shit I talk about. And now you have Gays Against Groomers, you have Buck Angel, you have Trans Against Groomers, you have, Marcus Dibbs, you have Sarah Higdon, you have so many people in the LGBT community doing this. And I am so happy about it because frankly, it was a little fucking rough being the only one. I looked crazy. Who's messaging me? Oh, okay. Sorry. Sideways 2013 says, coming from a 95% straight guy, you are probably one of the few hot trans people. Like, damn girl, you really got it. Love you and have a nice night. 95% straight, huh? Thank you. It's very sweet. Someone with a name I'm not even going to attempt says, hi, Blaire. I'm Ariel from Israel. Okay, you put it there. Ariel from Israel. That's a tongue twister. Love you. Also, I heard you're saying you write in a video. When will you publish? I have wanted to release a book for many years now. You guys know, people who have been very tuned into me know that a book has been on the horizons for me for many years. And I am making it my goal to have a book out in 2023. I decided this very recently. I was like, you know what? I've been talking about it. I've been working on it and then stopping working on it and then changing what I want to do. I know what I want to do now, and it will be coming out next year. Verone says, Caitlin knew you were smart. Her advice was N1. What does N1 mean? Yeah, shout out to Caitlin. It's really interesting. I had that dinner with Caitlin that I've done a video on, you guys know, Caitlyn Jenner. And at that time, she wasn't like as political as she is now. Obviously now she's a pundit on Fox and whatever have you, but back then she was kind of gearing up to do that. She was getting frustrated with the way in which the left and the right were talking about trans issues, and we vibed a lot with that. So shout out to Caitlyn for, if anyone was going to be the first trans person on Fox, it makes sense for it to be Caitlyn, right? Like, who else is going to do it? I mean, I guess me, but low-key, y'all know I'm banned from Fox. There's no way I'm not banned from Fox. I just think, like, I'm not trying to make myself sound cool here, but I think I'm just too fucking raw for Fox News. I mean, not that it's a career goal to even be a pundit on Fox, at least not at my age now, but I post with my tits out, like I'm messy, I swear, like I'm really not conservative like that, right? Like I have right-leaning views, but I'm not necessarily Fox friendly, but that's fine. Let's see. Tim Ellington says, I've always hated conforming to any group. Individuality trumps conformity to me. Thank you for being an honest individual who doesn't fit into a preset group. Thanks, Tim. I'm not about fucking conformity either. So shout out to you. Coach Constance says, thank you for speaking truth. You're an inspiration, and gave me his handle. So let me follow you. Thank you so much, Coach Constance. What do you coach? You better follow me back, Coach Constance. You don't follow me. Miss Mary says, been watching you for a couple years now. If not for you, I wouldn't have been able to speak to my stepson on sensitive subjects he's dealing with. Thank you. Aw, thank you. I'm so glad you were able to. And it makes me very happy that I was able to help you have that conversation, whatever the conversation was. Doobadee. I'm not finding you. Are you shadow banned, sis? I found you. You gave me the wrong handle, but I still found you. Margaret Schneider says, you are awesome. I love and respect you. I thank you for speaking out against and calling out people regarding the transition of children. It's so important. God bless you. Thank you. It's so crazy that I was making videos on kids transition like years before it was even the national conversation that it is. And it's just so crazy to see how everything's unfolded. Like, I don't know. Let's see. Ethan says, #Blair 2024. Maybe not 2024, but can I just say that as a group, we should be manifesting me as president? How much would it piss people the fuck off if I was the first woman president? As a Republican and trans, it would piss everyone off. It would piss everyone off. And that's what I'm about. So let's just make it fucking happen. But let me follow you. Vogue Brittany. Oh, you're my kind of account. Followed. Let's see. Ashley Bell says, hey, Blair, we share a lot of the same views and beliefs. I've been a conservative and believer in faith all my life. It was a relief to know you're out there getting truth out. Would love to collab. Are you a YouTuber? That's so cool. DM me, email me. Let's see what we can do. Miss Sweetie Shorty is sending me her handle for the third time. I feel bad if you guys are sending multiples. I didn't see it at first, but I always will see it. Let me see. Let me follow you. Sweetie Shorty. That's a cute handle, though. Y'all know I'm short, right? Because every time I meet any of you guys in real life, the first thing you say, why are you so short? I can't believe you're so short. I can't believe you're so small. I'm not tall. Moritz says, saw you interacting with Destiny. What's your opinion? I assume you mean on him as a whole. I have never really watched his content. Yeah, I did a stream on election day on Lauren Chen's Rumble account. Or not Rumble, I'm so sorry. Odyssey with Destiny. But we didn't really talk. I don't really have that much of an opinion, I guess. Let's see. Redline says, Jamie is an FTM trans activist type on YouTube who, in my opinion, as another trans man, he is smug and misleading. I recommend watching some videos and seeing what you think. Maybe I'll check it out. I'm not very tuned in with like the trans guy YouTube sphere. I guess I'm not really tuned in with much of trans YouTube at all, but definitely not the trans guy sphere. So that'd be interesting to see. Anonymous says, how hard were you thoughting in LA? I wasn't thoughting in LA. I was just visually thoughting because I dressed crazy when I lived in LA. Y'all remember the outfits. I look like a cheap whore all the time in LA. Like what? Yul, Kara, and followed. Thank you, Drees, who says, hey, Blair, how are things? Nice seeing you live stream again. Great Timcast session. Loved your gun collection video. Thank you. I love my gun collection video. Like, it got some hate from people saying it was like inappropriate or even illegal to have guns like that. No, it's not. I wouldn't. I know some people think I'm dumb, but like, in what world am I dumb enough to post 10 illegal guns on YouTube? Like, they're not illegal. It's one of my favorite videos I've posted in recent times. So let's see. Velvet Vulpix says, hey girl, love you all the way from Portland. I'd love to see you react to Isaac Uncooked. He's on YouTube. Like to see what you think of him because I don't know what to say about him. LOL. Is that the comedian guy from Australia? Who's Isaac Uncooked? Can y'all put it in the chat? Jose R says, you're the best. You're the fucking best, Jose. The fuck? Delaney Stevens. Y'all are blowing up my phone right now. You know what it is? Because I'm following you guys, and then immediately you're like DMing me. What's this? People are you guys are so sweet. What is this crazy filter y'all put? Can y'all see this? What is this insane filter you filmed my live with? Whoever this is, someone smokes. I look crazy. But thank you. Let's see. Delaney says, I'm an Oregon gun owner who's furious right now. What's happening in Oregon with guns? I don't know what's going on in Oregon with guns. Pretty Cat Eyes says, think my chat was missed. No, I just didn't get to it, but I'll follow you right now, sis. Let's see. Pretty Cat Eyes. Giovanni says, have you been getting any problems from Dylan's horde since dropping your video? A lot of his critics get victimized online. Ain't nobody victimizing me. I'm not scared of anyone who follows Dylan. Dylan hasn't responded to anything I said, so I assume Dylan's scared of me. Dylan sure responded to Caitlyn Jenner, and much easier target. Dylan has responded to, and by the way, yeah, Caitlyn's more powerful than me, but in many ways, Caitlyn is a much easier target. It's a lot more beneficial for Dylan, we're talking about Dylan Mulvaney, to do a video coming at Caitlyn rather than me, because Caitlyn, first of all, is not going to fight back like that. Caitlyn is a punching bag. You know, everyone makes fun of fucking Caitlyn. And people hate me too, but just not in the same way as Caitlyn, right? And I think Dylan just knows who to fuck with and who not to. Like I saw Dylan make a video about some like girl who looked like she was like 17 and he reacted to her. She reacted to her. That was genuinely accidental, by the way. So yeah, Dylan hasn't said shit. We'll see what happens. Giovanni says, sending love from Denver. Shout out to Denver and you. BH says, as a Central Texan and gun nut, I 100% back the gun video. Thank you. Tinso says, have you visited San Antonio since moving to Austin? I have, and you know what? I don't want to insult anyone from San Antonio, but I'll just say this. I'm so glad I chose Austin over San Antonio. I didn't really love San Antonio. Granted, I was only there for a day. I'm sure it's lovely otherwise, but I didn't have very much fun. Short Hair Sue says, thank you for giving me a new perspective on things I've been struggling with since I was a child. Well, shout out to you. I'm glad I could help you in any way. You know, the benefit of doing these lives and talking to you guys is like I actually get to hear live what my videos do for you guys. And honestly, it's very emotional. I mean, I can't underestimate what it means for someone to say that I've helped them in their life. And I don't take it for granted. And this is why I will never stop doing videos. I don't care what happens. I will always do videos. I will always find a way to be on here. Flat Abby says, from Turf Island, we love you. Shout out to Turfs. You know what's crazy is like I get called the Turf. Imagine calling a trans person who is not a feminist an anti-trans radical feminist. Make it make fucking sense. People are crazy. Gareth Green says, as a conservative kid, you were also my gateway to an understanding of transness and transgenderism. I learned so much from you. Thank you. That's great. Nightcall says, I'm an Asian prince who's asking for your hand in marriage. No. Let's see. Aperion Bound says, for quality, extreme progressive metal, calling out the socio-political bull. Nice. Is that what you make? Let me see. I would love to follow a fucking account like that. Progressive metal and not woke. That's sickening. Let's see. Oh, you got a long handle, girl. Aperion Bound music. Follow me back. I just followed you. Let's see. Miss Sweetie Shorty says, love you for over 4 years. Love you, and I already followed you. Kantashi says, my father transitioned in the early 80s, wasn't really accepted back then. She got death threats from people my parents considered as friends. That's crazy. I can't imagine what it's like to have a parent transition. I mean, that's like nuts. J.E. says, you're the voice of reason in our community. I'm so glad I found your channel. Also, you are a literal goddess in beauty, mind, and soul, and such a big heart. See, I don't know how to even accept a compliment like that. Shout out to you. Kantashi says, love you, been following for a couple years. Glad things have become more acceptable for the trans community, but I think affirmation has gone too far. I agree. Wholeheartedly. Dead End says, marry me. I can't. I'm sorry. Let's see. Philip Melody says, hey, Blair, I love you and your content. Been watching since 2016. You're amazing. That's a long time. Shout out to you for sticking around, and I hope to have you around for many more years. Let's see. I am Pandisis says, loved and watching 2018. I follow you on Instagram. Same as here. You didn't give me your handle. I'm sorry. You didn't give me your handle. Angel says, hi, thank you for helping me understand what it meant to be transgender when I was 15. I'm 23 now and still love to hear your opinions. Go ahead and age me. Fuck. You know what's so crazy is like, I was in the gym a few weeks ago, or at this point, I think it was a couple months ago, but this girl came up to me and she was like, Blair, I'm such a big fan. Can I get a picture? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, of course. And she's like, I just did a college essay on you. And I was like, oh my God, that's so flattering. It's so amazing. She's like, yeah, it's so crazy how I watched it when I was in 8th grade and now I'm doing college essays on you. And I was like, I am so old. If you could have found me in 8th grade and you are doing college essays on me, I didn't even dare ask her what year in college she's in. Hopefully the fucking first. Mashisu, shout out to Mashisu, says, Blair, have you ever tried the social site VR Chat? You don't need VR gear to use it. You meet and talk to people from all over the world. That sounds fucking cool. I have not. Pika Blue says, do you still play League of Legends and who's your main? I was a Lux main, but I haven't played in a while. I used to play with you guys. Remember that? I used to have you guys follow me and I would play with you guys. Dragon Stalin says, Blair, I want to say I appreciate your appearance on Timcast IRL. You were amazing. Thank you. Love going on Timcast. Autumn says, I'm currently in a counseling program. What do you think is the most effective and helpful therapy for those going through gender dysphoria? Whew, that's a loaded question. I think it's a case-by-case basis. Like, I think that the way you treat gender dysphoria in an adult is going to be different than a child, obviously. And the level of dysphoria, it's, I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. You're the one in a counseling program. I don't want to say anything that harms anyone. So I don't know what the correct thing is. I just know that my principles stand on not sterilizing kids. It's just that black and white for me. I don't know. I feel like I'd have to go to school for that, right? Michelle says, hey girl, I'm planning to get my breast augmentation with Dr. Peter Raphael in Plano, Texas. Would you recommend? Yes, that's my doctor. And he did a great job on all my surgeries. He's also kind of the devil though, because he was operating on fucking 14-year-olds up until recently when they passed the new law in Texas that you couldn't do that. So great surgeon, also kind of the devil. And that's just being real. John Ford says, hey, Blair, can you check out the interview Shapeshifter did with me on his channel? Oh, that's so cool that you guys have interacted. I will check it out. Let's see. Wesley Daniel says, I'm a moderate Democrat and I love you and your videos. You've opened my mind and made me think for myself. I'm so happy you're putting truth out there about hormone blockers. Before your videos, I thought they were harmless. Thank you. You know what's so crazy about like people who think that it's harmless? It's like, I don't blame you because it's beaten into everyone's head that they're harmless and reversible, even though they're harmful and irreversible. But it's like, it really does take people just like talking about it because people just go with the first thing they hear. And when the first thing you hear is like, it's okay to block the puberty of a child, people kind of go with it. So, yeah. All right, let me refresh. This ring light is killing me. It's like melting my brain. I feel like I'm going to faint. I haven't eaten today either. Let's see. I'm on coffee and ring light. Let's see. Volts35 says, do you think we should promote the, quote, gender expression spectrum, masculine to feminine? This accepts the male-female binary and not the gender spectrum. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Gender expression is obviously a spectrum, and people can range from masculine to feminine regardless of their gender identity or regardless of their biological sex. So yeah, I agree with that. Isaac Ritchie says, Blair White, more like Blair's always right. Here's my gram. Shout out to you, Richie. Isaac, sorry. Richie. I hope you come up. I'm not seeing you. You didn't give me your handle. You just gave me your name. I don't have you on here. I can't find you. Sorry. Let's see. Brenna Brush says, I'm only on Facebook, but if you would like to get a mom's opinion on the crap that's going on in the country for your show, let me know. I will let you know if that's the case. Let's see. Who's texting me? Kyra says, love you, Blair. I'm a Democrat, but I'd vote for you for 100%. I may not agree with you on everything, but you're clearly an intelligent person and speak on things that are important to me. Thank you. Thank you. I will run for office someday. It's going to happen. You know, I'm 29. Let me get into my 30s. Let me get a little more grown and sexy. Let me get it together a little more, and then that will be a thing. Like, I know that the not end point, but the further trajectory of my career is absolutely holding some sort of a public office. So we'll see what happens. John Forge says, hey, Blair, do you remember 2018 MythCon? One of my besties, Chaos Eve, met you, and she looks up to you and has red hair. I do remember Chaos Eve. I remember meeting her and her boyfriend, and I remember her being very sweet. Gareth Green says, are you still friends with Jacqueline Glenn? Yes, I am friends with Jacqueline Glenn. She moved to Nashville, so we don't talk or see each other as much as we should, but I'll always have love for Jacqueline. You know, I was a bridesmaid in her wedding, and she's an amazing person, and I'm so happy for her that she has a family now. Let's see. Do you follow, or Ed Igma says, do you follow Cat Turd? I do. By the way, welcome to Austin. I do special effects, makeup, and costumes if you're interested. I am interested. I'm going to follow you because I actually have something that I need special effects makeup for right now. So I'm going to hit you up. That's amazing that you said that. Ugh, I'm starting to get such a headache from this ring light. Oh my God, I feel like I'm going to pass out. All right. Low Watermark says, here's money to fund you replacing the Quarterings Tito's vodka. That's so funny. I was on the Quarterings channel the other day, and he told me that he's had this like beef. He was joking, but you know, half serious. This beef with me because in 2018, I stole one of his bottles of vodka, which I totally believe. He said we were at like at a party, which I do remember the party. I don't remember stealing his vodka, but that definitely sounds like something 2018 Blair would do. So I owe the Quartering a bottle of vodka. Let's see. Lucky Charms with $100. Damn, Lucky Charms. Thank you. Says, just cuz, why not? Have a good rest of the day. Thank you, Lucky Charms. It's very sweet and very generous. G.I. Jada says, Blair, Houston meet and greet someday? Stay warm. Maybe someday. You know, if I do a meet and greet, it's going to be here in Austin. But, you know, I feel like meet and greets are such a thing of the past. I don't want to like disappoint anyone, but, you know, I used to do meet and greets like earlier on in my career, and they were fun. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like things now are not as safe as they once were. The political climate is so much hotter. I'm so much more hated than I was back then. Obviously, I'm more loved than ever too. I've only grown since then, but it's just a different time. I don't know. I've been thinking about it though. I've lived here for a year in Austin. I haven't done a meetup, but so maybe it'll happen. Put it in the chat if you would come to an Austin meetup. The Missing Rainbow says, hi, your videos helped me a lot. When I was younger, I was hyped to be in the LGBT community. Now I'm in my 30s. I feel so detached. I feel that way as well. I feel very detached from the LGBT community. I think that's normal as you get older. You kind of realize that the concept of being part of a community because you also like dick, because you also are trans is kind of fucking weird, right? Like that's the only thing you have in common. How much of a community is it really? So I definitely have a camaraderie with other trans women that I meet, and I see that shared experience and I relate. And so I have a natural inclination to sort of like be cool with them when I meet them, but I don't feel like it's like a community like that, Let's see. Ginger Monkey Bear says, thank you for trying to protect the pudding people. Who's that? I understand that extremely rare folks like you exist, and we need to guard against trenders and protect vulnerable, impressionable kiddos. I assume you mean kids, and I agree. Thank you so much for the compliment. Let's see. Marin Gibson says, Blair, you're a beautiful person inside and out. It means so much that you care about our babies and how detrimental this new reality can be to them. You are loved and appreciated. You are loved and appreciated as well, Marin. Thank you. Ryan says, Blair's hot. Thanks, Ryan. RZ the Legend says, troll the world. I try to do a little less trolling these days. I get caught up in it. But people take my trolling so seriously. Like, there's so many jokes I like tweeted back in the day that were total trolls and like to me, obviously joking. And like people bring them up and try to fucking cancel me over it. And it's like, guess you can't fucking troll on the internet anymore. Michael says, are you still friends with Shoe on Head? No, I haven't talked to Shoe in years. I have no beef, but I haven't talked with her in years. Like, I think it's been probably like 4 years. Worse says, what games have you been playing lately? Have you ever played Bayonetta? I recommend it. I have not played Bayonetta. I've watched Bayonetta be played. I have been playing a lot of Diablo 2 Resurrected. But it's very frustrating because I'm trying to play on hardcore mode and I keep fucking dying. But y'all know Diablo 2 Resurrected is like my favorite game. So let me follow you. Pink_Lerman. I think you gave me your handle earlier and it's not coming up. You got me blocked? I don't understand. I'm trying one more time. Pink Lumen. You're straight up not coming up. I can't lie. Let's see. Let me refresh. You guys are so sweet. This has been so fun. Gareth Green says, have you ever heard of a medical professional who participates in gender-affirming care for minors, changing their mind and repenting of all of this? I'm clinging to hope. No, but I'm assuming they're going to come out once the lawsuits start coming, right? So a lot of detransitioners right now are gearing up to be suing. Chloe Cole was one of them. I know that Tulip is one of them. I had Tulip on my podcast channel. Go check that out. Once it starts hurting people financially, that's when you're going to see people coming out and saying, like, I'm so sorry. Bullshit, but it is what it is. Me, Myself, and I says, have you spoken out about beauty queen Brian Nugan yet? Okay, that's another thing people want me to talk about is the trans beauty queen Brian, who won, I forget what the competition was, but it was a beauty pageant. I think the larger part, the offensive part of that is that Brian wasn't like hot, right? Like, and that's just being real. Like Brian was in a sea of like very thin, beautiful women, was like overweight, still had the name Brian, like just not attractive. And I'm not trying to be mean, but when you go into a beauty pageant, you're asking people to comment on your looks and judge your looks. So I have less of a problem that a trans woman won the pageant as I do it wasn't a hot trans woman, right? Because like I'm of the opinion if you've like fucking transitioned to the nines and you're able to compete in that shit, get your fair one. But if you are just winning because of a participation award, that's bullshit. And it was obviously a joke. Art Wench says lots of love from Georgia. Lots of love back to Georgia. Willie Coyote says, hi, Blair. Just wanted to thank you for making it so much easier for me to relate to my trans curious kid. I'm a conservative, and she thinks it's great that I follow your material. Thank you. I think it's great too. Ryan says, Blair's hot. Thanks, Ryan. I already read that one. Let's see. Mishishu says, Blair, Jacqueline moved to Nashville. Is she neighbors with Lauren Chen? I don't know about neighbors, but I know they both live there. Let's see. James says, what do you think of publications like Pink News? I think they're fucking cancer. I will never forget the fact that during the Jessica and Eve saga, they attacked me and defended Jessica and Eve. Pink News defended a literal pedophile over me because right wing or bad. Like, it's just so stupid. The world is really stupid. Jasmine Wildflower says, stay blessed, beautiful, and amazing as always, sis. Love you. Let's see. All right, guys. It has been an hour and a half. I am spent. I had so much fun with you guys. This has been a ball. Make sure you guys just subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Follow my podcast channel. And I will see you in the next video. Main channel video tomorrow. Bye, guys.